What about... There we go. I think we're back now. There, I fixed it. I fixed the audio. No one could hear anything at the beginning of this because I'm an idiot that doesn't test things. I think I might still be a bit feverish. So welcome to the actual beginning of this episode of Wargaming Whenever. For those who can't lip read though, we're talking about the Lion. There's also, Terminators, army building stuff for tents, which is cool. And then, of course, we also have the fact that I've just been in bed with an infected jaw for 2 weeks, which is why we have basically been doing nothing and missed last week. It was not fun. Don't recommend it. Go see your dentist if you haven't in a while. It will save you a lot of pain. Trust me on that one. But Mitchell, before I realized that I cocked up with the audio, you were talking about a Warhound Titan.
Yes, yes. So I recently faced off against a Warhound Titan, and it was beautiful. I went into that hoping to goodness that my army would be destroyed. Because there's nothing I want more than to be destroyed by a Warhound Titan, because it'd just be hilarious. Unfortunately, the first game, Alpha Strikes are very strong, and I went up against a 2,000-point Warhound Titan with 1,500 points worth of tanks.
Well, that does put you at a strategic disadvantage.
I should say 1,200 points worth of tanks, because 300 points of that was my Kazakin.
Yeah,
and a Chimera.
They're not tanks.
Yeah, exactly. So I went up against a Warhound Titan with 1,200 points worth of tanks, and because I got the Alpha Strike, I got in first. I shaved off 38 wounds on this thing. It was beautiful, and eventually, what ended up happening was I cleaned him up in my turn 2.
Glorious.
It was actually kind of disappointing. If I'd actually brought 2,000 points worth of tanks, I would have cleaned him up in turn 1.
Look, I'd like to say who the hell brings 2,000 points worth of tanks, but also who the hell brings a Warhound Titan to a 2,000 point game?
We are actually planning an Apocalypse game out in Kingaroy at the end of the year.
It better be at least 20,000 points aside.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
It'll only take you a week. That's just for turn 1.
I'll be flat out getting 3,000 points. Of course, I have just started working on the Baneblade. If you hear clipping sounds, I am cutting out the clipping from the cutting out the Baneblade pieces from the sprue. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. There are going to be green stuff sandbags all over it.
Glorious.
It's amazing.
I expect microscopic detail on those green stuff sandbags.
Oh, there will be.
Like so much detail that it looks like it's just been cast. That's what is expected, Mitchell.
Well, I can.
I will give you 10,000 BitTorrent tokens if you can do it.
I've already done 3 tanks with sandbags on them if you want to have a look.
It's all good. But yeah, I haven't had any games recently because, like I said, I've been in bed, half dead, with an infected jaw. Look, it was horrible.
Look, it doesn't stop the minions of Nurgle, and it shouldn't stop you.
Oh, it didn't stop me. I still worked. Like a good slave to capitalism.
Yeah. Sick leave will only get you so far.
Look, if I use it up all now, I won't have anything for when I get cancer at 32. That joke's not funny, is it?
I guess with all the super glue we've been huffing, it gets too close to home.
A little bit. But the Lion, he exists, and does things. And we'll go over here. And it will do the thingamabob. So, Mitchell, hashtag new 40k is a hashtag again. And we're starting with the Lion. 10,000 years of rest. Man, I wish I could get 10,000 years of rest.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, I guess I can have it when I'm dead.
It's the school holidays, and even though I'm a relief teacher, I'm just going to be busier. How is that right?
I'm not looking forward to school holidays. Not going to lie.
Australian parents just don't.
But look, Would you look forward to school holidays if you were losing your government paid for babysitter?
So that's how you people see us.
That is, look, I'm not gonna lie. But look, Lion L. Johnson. He's got a sword. He's got a shield. Shields are cool. As a Grey Knight player, I like characters with shields. Especially when they give 3 up invulnerable saves. Those are the best ones. We'll see how that goes later on. Also, he's not wearing a helmet, so as far as I'm concerned, he's -1 to his armor, unless you put a helmet on him.
No helmet gives you plot armor.
No helmet gives you -1 to your armor save roll. That's the house rule, Mitchell. If you can't be bothered to put a helmet on, your guys are stuffed.
Helmets are hardly heroic.
Yeah, but
That
being dead
that's
is also not heroic.
it depends how you die.
This is true. Lionel Johnson's going to die with a bullet through his head because he's not wearing a helmet.
Guardsman, what is your duty?
But also he's only got 10 attacks, Mitchell,
Oh no, only 10.
which he can double to 20.
That's right, because that sword is just
Yes,
insane. It's beautiful.
it
I
is
love it.
beautiful. It's still strength 6, AP 3, 2 damage when it makes 20 attacks.
I've only seen that sword for like 24 hours, but I've decided that if anything happens to it, I'm going to kill you and myself.
Yes, which of course means that in the guardsmanometer, he slots in right here between Magnus and Mortarion.
I assume you mean the traitor guardsmanometer.
The
That
trade,
is what you
it's
mean.
the traitor Primarch guardsmanometer. So yes, Lionel Johnson definitely belongs here, being a Dark Angel and all. That just makes sense. But look, he's got a fairly solid profile. Leadership 11, so he's basically a custode. Which other armies have we not upset yet? He also has, a deep strike rule with a fancy name. He's got a shield, 4+ invuln. Shame. How is the Emperor's shield not as good as Drago's shield? Mitchell, can you explain this?
I mean, it's the Emperor's tilting shield. It's the little thing that goes on his armor here. I don't think it was intended to be used as an actual shield.
Look, that's a
Sorry,
valid point, and we will go with that.
Chapter Master Azrael, please don't make me repent.
You must repent. But look, he also has a fun rule where each time a saving throw for this model is made against a melee attack, an unmodified roll of a 6. So if your armor save is 6, actually no, saving throw, not armor save, so just saving throw in general, the attacking models suffer a mortal wound, which I do find most amusing.
So just to clarify, the Baneblade has a bottom part for the tank, which is more than the Rogel Dawn has.
That is more than the Rogel Dawn has. I really need to get Chris's Rogel Dawn off him so I can measure up and sculpt up a base for them.
Please do. I will absolutely use that STL.
But yeah, look, he's cool. He does stuff. I do like the fact that he's not as green as he could have been, given that he's been asleep for 10,000 years.
Well, it's not easy being green, as Kermit the Frog once said.
Look, it's not easy being green because you gotta fight and win. I'm still very sick, so no orc impressions tonight. But yeah, Trader Primarch Guardsmanometer, he goes in right here. I cannot stress enough how much he belongs on this table.
I'll pay it. I wonder where Gilliman would sit on the Guardsmanometer.
Well, he's not on there because he's not a trader.
Oh, hold on a second. I see where you're going with that. I've just twigged.
Took your
Oh,
time.
I see where you've been going with this. I'd be very interested to see how they cover this in the lore, to be honest.
What, him going on the Trader Primarch Guardsmanometer?
I mean, it was very heavily implied before the Horus Heresy novels came out that he actually backed Horus and had a backup plan. Like he pinned it all on Luther. Like Luther was actually the loyalist.
Oh god, it's the freaking Alpha Legion all over again, where no one knows who's the loyal one and who's the traitor.
But obviously, I'm Alpharius.
I'm Alfarius, Mitchell. We can't both be Alfarius.
Can someone in the chat tell us who is really Alpharius?
Look, this is easy to settle. I'm getting on a plane right now. But also we're getting new Terminators. I won't go through the history of Terminators because everyone loves Terminators. Anyone that does not love Terminators, please stop watching now and go away.
Yeah, we don't want your patronage.
Exactly.
Warhammer is for everyone except you.
Mitchell, please tell me what you think of these new Terminators.
I wish they were more dynamic, but obviously this is the push fit ones for the 10th edition box.
Also, they're Terminators, Mitchell. How dynamic can they possibly get?
Oh, they can get pretty dynamic. Also,
Yeah,
I'm as much as I would love them, and I probably will get some, I'm looking forward to Assault Terminators more because my Black Templars need something. And as soon as I get Assault Terminators, I can justify getting a Land Raider to put them in.
Look, I'm just super stoked about this Assault Cannon. Have you seen the sculpt on this Assault Cannon, Mitchell?
It's actually beautiful.
Look, we'll just zoom in. Look at that. The detail. They finally put some effort into it.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping actually we get
and individual fingers on the Power Fist. Like clearly individual fingers.
I'm not going to lie, that's actually quite impressive.
What I want to know though, and I think I've just found the answer to this actually by looking closer.
Should I stay or should I go?
Yes. I was gonna be like, I wonder if they'll actually provide the Stormbolter barrels pre-drilled out, and it looks like there's a bit of a divot, but not very deep. It doesn't look very deep in this picture.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, here's some.
But like, it'll at least make the drilling easier.
It will, because there'll be a center spot for it. Given that they're releasing new Terminators for everyone's favorite faction, Ultramarines.
You don't like Ultramarines? I love Ultramarines.
I'm part of everyone, so obviously it's my favorite faction.
Marnius Calgar is my Black Templar spiritual liege.
He is. He's also a Primaris Lieutenant.
My Black Templars just wish they were like Ultramarines.
They are Ultramarines, Mitchell. Everyone is actually an Ultramarine. Alfarius is an Ultramarine.
Oh, that's the most cursed conversation we've had on this channel. If we don't get massive amounts of hate for that in the chat, I'll be very disappointed.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Oh.
But seriously, these look fantastic, and given the amount of effort that's clearly gone into sculpting these Terminators, I'm thoroughly looking forward to the 10th edition rules for Terminators. Not because of these Terminators, because of Grey Knight Terminators, Mitchell.
That might actually push me over into actually properly starting a Grey Knight army, because I did buy the Terminators like 12 years ago.
They're so much fun.
I ended up selling them off because I hadn't used them in 10 years, so I just sold them off on the Buy Swap Sell group. But now that the new Terminators have come out, you better believe I'm waiting for a Grey Knight's range refresh, and then I'm going to hit that harder than a demon with a Force Sword.
Oh, look, you are going to fall on your sword so hard with that, it's not funny. But, look, imagine these boys as troops with the rules that they're going to get with. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I'd just like to remind everyone to just ignore everything we just said for one important reason. Necron Monolith. Awesome model. Then they gave it rubbish rules.
Didn't they say the monolith would be returning?
Yes, there was that. I hope that it is truly terrifying. And
what a grand and intoxicating innocence.
I know, it's going to be such rubbish again. I can tell. But look, those are Terminators. They look really cool. The poses, I don't hate them either.
I mean, Terminators should be bulky, but I like the idea that Space Marines are still deft on their feet. And when I get Assault Terminators, I will model them to look like they're dynamically in combat. It will happen.
Although something I am concerned about is I think Games Workshop with these, looking at these sculpts a bit more now, Games Workshop is continuing the trend of including basing material in the model
Oh, what's wrong with the tactical rock?
because it makes it a pain in the ass to put them on any base that is not just perfectly flat and then you put rocks on it. And it's like, no, I want to sculpt a base in 3D and print it
Mm.
because that's the kind of pedant that I am.
I will say, when I was working with my Imperial Guard command company, I ended up having to shave off the rock from the captain, and I built trench duckboards. So if you're building your bases bespoke, it can work, but if you're 3D printing, it does make it so much harder.
It makes it very difficult, especially given that it means the feet are then at weird angles.
Mm.
Makes it very challenging. It's annoying. Oh well, I'll work it out. Oh, what else do we have in the news? Detachments, Mitchell. Have you seen the way that
I
new
love.
detachments are going to work?
I'm going to abuse the audience here with the same way that I've abused the chat. Armored companies, let's go. They better have an Imperial Guard armored company, or I am going to riot.
Well, I've had a look over this, and I think it's even simpler than that.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Did
Look,
she put up a fight?
granted, this is sweet fuck all information that we have here.
Hmm.
But it looks like the only real restrictions you'll have will be based off of which combat doctrines you want.
Makes sense.
Which guard will probably have one for armored company. That would make sense.
Naturally.
But apart from that, your restrictions are you have to have at least one character. You can't have any more than one of each named epic hero. So you can't run 12 Gillimans, Mitchell. I know you want to do that, but you can't.
Damn it. I was going to run them next to my 12 tanks.
Damn it. Shame.
Just
I mean, you could run a Gilliman in a line. That could be fun. And then, rule of three, except for troops, which is up to 6, which they're renaming to battle line by the looks of it.
Yeah, they've got completely rid of force organization and unit roles, which is interesting, but I don't hate it.
Well, I think they're going to smuggle it back in the combat doctrine stuff. So
that might work.
The Gladius task force for the Space Marines will likely have some restrictions where it's like, in order to take more than one of a certain unit, you have to take a different unit or something. Because otherwise, it's just like, oh, you just get to pick one special upgrade thing. It's like, that's boring. Put the restriction on there, depending on which one you choose. So I'd say it'll be more like 7th edition. I don't know if you remember that, Mitchell, where the codexes
I
had their
wasn't.
own special little detachments.
I'm afraid the last time I played was 4th.
So the Necrons had a really fun one, the Living Tomb, where it was a obelisk and 2 monoliths. That was the detachment.
Makes sense.
So I suspect they may bring back stuff like that, because based off of this, I can see this just getting very silly and people just spamming the same shit over and over again, which is really boring. Although in competitive, that's what people are going to want to do anyway, because people are boring.
Yeah, it's like, if you're going to take the best performing units in your army, why would you not take the most of those units that you possibly could?
Because it doesn't look like an army then, and it's really boring, and I would hate you forever.
It does if it looks like an armored company.
Look, you're a statistical outlier, Mitchell.
Actually, one thing I am concerned about, they got rid of Squadron on most everything else. I wonder if they're going to get rid of Squadron on Lehman Russes. I mean, they've had it for ages, and I like the fact that they've had it. But if they're saying up to 6 of the same battle line, is an armored company going to turn Lehman Russes into troops? And if so, would they let you bring 18?
I doubt it.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
I mean, no, Mitch, they're not going to be turning tanks into troops.
Just let me huff my copium.
It's not happening. I can guarantee you 107% success that it will not happen. I guarantee it. Of course,
I'm
then
just going to...
on top of that, you get to pick a warlord, and he gets some fancy stuff. He gets like an enhancement or something, and they haven't said anything about what that is because it's Games Workshop, and they don't want to tell us anything fun.
Could be a warlord trait or a relic, or are those things different again? Who knows?
I don't even know if those things exist.
Because they're going to put all the like, is it just the universal rules that for the faction that are going to go on 2 pages, or is it all the different war gear and such?
I have no idea. I think it's just the rules for it.
That will be interesting and possibly concerning to see how it all plays out.
Look, it'll be definitely interesting to see how it works. That's for certain. I'll play it at least once.
If it doesn't work, we can all go back to 9th edition. But honestly, I think that from what I've seen of 10th edition, it's the kind of things that are long overdue for the hobby.
True. I'm just disappointed that there is 0 signs of switching to a not D6 system, because that is the biggest problem with 40k. Is that there's just not enough statistical spread in a D6, and when you then, if you try to solve this with 2d6 or 3d6, you then get these weird bumpy curves.
I feel that. It's important to math hammer.
I don't like it. It makes the maths very difficult and hurts my brain.
Yeah, I get that.
But look, that's the news. I don't think there's anything else that's really happened of late. So I think, look, tonight it's going to be a bit of a short one because I'm still feeling quite under the weather. But I wanted to prove to everyone that I'm still alive and not dead.
I, for one, am glad that you're not dead.
I'm not. I was looking forward to the Eversleep. Seemed peaceful. Is that awkward silence long enough?
Yeah, that was pretty awkward. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, it's the first thing they teach you in acting school. Actually, it's not the first thing. That's a lie. But it's
the first thing they teach you in acting school is that your political opinions matter.
No, your political opinions don't matter.
If you're an actor, by definition, your political opinions just don't matter.
No, if you're not rich, your political opinions don't matter.
Also true.
Very true, especially if you're not a homeowner, your political opinions don't matter.
Gosh, now we're getting way too real.
So look, we will wrap things up there for tonight, I think. Because to be honest, we don't really have anything for over under because we've got a new edition to come out.
Oh no, I've got something for over under.
You do?
Warlord Titan.
Okay, is it under or over, Mitchell?
Oh, it is way overcosted. I would take it down to about 1,500 points, and
really?
I would up the weapons. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So 1,500 points. How much would you up the weapons by?
So the Warhound Titan runs. It runs the plasma gun and the Vulcan Mega Bolter.
Yes.
The Vulcan Mega Bolter is literally heavy 20, which is not bad. That will destroy anything it touches.
It's only as many attacks as the Lion.
That's actually a really good point.
I don't think it's enough attacks, to be honest. It at the very least should be damage 3. How much damage is it?
Let me check.
It's like 1 off the top of my head.
The Vulcan Mega Bolter has a damage of...
I'm going to the
site.
2.
It's got a damage of 2.
So not great against Death Guard.
No. Yeah, you're right. It should be at least damage 3.
It should be at least 3.
But the big problem that the Warhound Titan has is that it has 2 weapons. Yeah, they do a hell of a lot of damage, but the only damage you're going to do is against big blobs of heavy armor.
Only minus 2. Yeah, that's not that bad.
It could be more. I mean, That thing won't even chew up Iron Warriors.
No, we won't.
Oh, there's a guy who plays Iron Warriors at the local club. It was a good game. I lost on objectives,
Classic.
but my vanquishers took out yet another 2 lords.
Oh, god damn it. Mitchell, just wait until I fight you with my Grey Knights.
I'm keen. When are you coming up to Kingaroy?
When hell freezes over, probably, because only then will it actually be the right temperature.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I know people in Kingaroy. It's, and I'll give you a forecast for the place for the next 1,000 years. It's going to be hot. If it's not hot, it'll be hot and wet.
Yeah, we'll admit I haven't been cold since I moved up to Queensland.
Plasma Blast Gun. 2d6, strength 10, AP -4, 5 damage shots. Come on, that should have ripped through a tank or 12.
Yeah, but the problem is it only rips through 1 tank at a time.
Yeah, that's true. So what you're trying to say is 4 Warhound Plasma Blast Guns.
I think you should be able to split your fire on a plasma blast gun.
No, I don't think that makes sense.
Well, the thing that constrains the Warhound Titan is that you can only fire at 2 targets per turn.
Well, that's because it's not meant to be taken by itself. It's meant to
I
have
know
an
it's
army
not-
to back it up.
I know it's not meant to be taken by itself and it has to have an army to back it up, but I don't know. I just, yeah, as soon as you hear that horn, you should know that, get out before you are got out.
How'd you go with cracking through the void shields?
Surprisingly easy. The void shields are
Really?
3 damage. Yeah, they're 3 health. They're basically an invulnerable save.
It's
If you
only a
get the
5+
invulnerable,
invuln as well.
say again, sorry?
It's only a 5+ invuln as well.
Yeah, it's not great. The void shields are actually the most egregious offender because you only get they all come back in the command phase, but they're only worth 3. And if you pass the invuln save, you lose points off the void shield. If you fail the invuln save, it goes straight through.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was only if you failed it that you lost points off it.
No, it's if you pass it, you lose points off it. That's what we were discovering when we were playing with it. It was just ridiculous. I was happy in the second game. I got absolutely tabled over the course of
I don't think
turns.
you're correct about that, Mitchell.
I hope I'm not correct. I hope I'm incorrect about that because it just felt phenomenally underpowered. And we eventually ended up house ruling it to be that if you pass it on the void shield, then and that's the other thing. I think the void shields should probably be at least 5 because a Lehman Russ shot will take down a void shield. They're 3 damage each.
I suppose. Because here's what I'm reading. Each time a saving throw is failed for this model against a ranged attack, if it has any void shields, it does not suffer any damage. Instead, for each point of damage inflicted, one of its void shields loses 1 shield point. Once a void shield has lost a shield point, it must continue to lose shield points for any further damage inflicted until it collapses. Each time an attack causes a void shield to be reduced to 0 shield points, that void shield collapses. This model loses that void shield and any excess damage inflicted by the attack is lost. Void shields can never be used to prevent mortal wounds. Each mortal wound
I see what we were
inflicted
doing wrong.
on the model with the void shield causes it to lose a wound as normal. And then at the start of your command phase, if it has a void shield with fewer than 3 shield points removing, it gains them. So once the shield is collapsed, it's gone forever.
Yeah, we didn't play it like that because that just felt wrong.
And it's only if you fail it that you lose shield points. If you pass that saving roll, you're fine. Nothing happens.
Yeah, and I realized from what you've been saying is you should be making the other saving rolls first or something. Did I get that right? Like the normal invuln and or the armor save first.
So yeah, so you'd use your 2 up armor save and you only use the 5 up invuln if there's enough AP to punch through your 2 up armor, so at least AP 4. anything less than AP4, you'd just use your standard armor and wouldn't worry about it. But even if you fail an armor save, because it just says if you when you have a saving throw that's failed, it affects the void shields, but only if it's failed. If you pass a save, you're good. Nothing happens.
That is good to know. I will update the group about that.
And it only explodes on a 6+.
Everything only explodes on. Yeah, no, it should just blow up everything.
If it blows up, it does blow up everything.
I actually think that the explodes rule should work something like
Did
this.
it explode, Mitchell?
Sorry, say again.
Did it explode in your game, Mitchell?
Yes, it did.
Did it explode for 3d6 inches for 2d6 mortal wounds?
Yes, it did.
That's spicy.
But what I would like to see a change to the explode rule in general, and I know we're getting terribly off topic and we're supposed to be wrapping up the show. What I would like to see us do to explosions is for every point of damage over, so if you take off the last point of damage, you roll a single d6. On a 6, it explodes. For every point of damage over,
you do more damage to it over its final wound, it's more likely to go booms.
Yes, I would love to see that. It's just more fun when things go boom, and then when they cause other things to go boom too.
Look, I think I'm gonna have to buy a Warhound Titan for one reason alone: to have it go boom.
Painted as a Chaos Warhound Titan, run it with the Iron Warriors. The chevrons that just make so much sense.
Yeah, I was thinking running with Grey Knights, a Psycho Warhound Titan. I will house rule it. It'll be glorious. Can you imagine that, Mitchell? A Warhound Titan throwing down Psychic Shade.
Oh, that just feels wrong, but yet a little right.
And also, Warhound Inferno. Actually, no, where is it? The Turbo Laser Destructor. See, why didn't, if he knew he was up against an armored company, why didn't he take a Warhound Turbo Laser Destructor?
That's an excellent question. I guess the guy who bought it just wanted it as a display piece.
No, just.
I wasn't running WYSIWYG. I don't see why he had to run WYSIWYG.
I mean, I get it. It's only 2d3 shots. But it's strength 16, AP -4, d6 plus 3 damage. Booms. I'd rather that to the Vulcan Mega Bolter. Or hell, even the Inferno gun, 4d6 shots, strength 7, AP -3, flat 3 damage. Each time the attack is made with this weapon, it auto hits the target. It's an extra big ass flamer. What's not to love?
There's so many things you could do to a Warhound Titan to make it actually good.
Yes. So first of all, reduce it by 500 points.
Yes.
Make void shields less shit.
Yes.
I should get that put on a t-shirt. Make void shields less shit. And of course, Reactor Meltdown. It's got to go boom every time, or it's not worth it.
Absolutely. Like, as soon as a Warhound Titan hits the board with the dull thud of resin, your pants should get heavier too.
Yes, most certainly. Also, 50 wounds is not enough.
Actually, I would agree with that. I'd bump it up to 75.
At least.
Like, in lore, a Titan Legion should take like regiments of super heavies to take down.
Yeah, I wonder how a knight would go against one of these.
Poorly. Oh, Mitchell, you mean like a knight army? Yeah, that would probably work.
Mitchell, I think I'm getting a Warlord Titan. It's only got 120 wounds, though.
Yeah, no, that thing should have it like 200.
It's only got 2 Apocalypse launchers, 2 Apex Defender las cannons, not Apex, Ardex, 2 Ardex Defender maulers, 2 Ariok power claws, and of course Warlord feet.
I still maintain that Titans should be able to split fire if they're individual guns.
Mitchell, I will just step on your tanks.
Hey, I'm the one who had to face against it.
He gets to make 8 attacks with AP -4, 5 damage each in close combat.
Mm,
And being Titanic, you can't tie him up. He will just walk away and then shoot you.
it's true.
Shoot you with his heavy 3d3, strength 20, AP -5, 12 damage weapon.
That will actually no, that won't take out a Lehman Ross.
You sure? 12 damage.
My Lehman Ross is 13.
It only needs 2 to go through.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yep,
And he
completely
gets
understand.
3d3 of them. At
Yeah,
least 3 of those are going through.
I'm there for that. I can be there for that.
Or there's the Mori Quake Cannon. Heavy 3d6 shots. Still strength 14. AP -5. Flat 6 damage. And it can target units that are not visible. Although
Good old.
it's a Titan, everything is visible to it.
Wow.
The only drawback is it's 5,500 points. You could take a lot of tanks for that.
Could take. Give me a second. I could take 30.
Only 30.
Only
Actually,
30.
no, you can't because rule of 3.
True. Does that apply in Apocalypse?
I have no idea. I've never played Apocalypse. That's way too much money.
Mm, I've always dreamed of having an Apocalypse army. That's what the tank company's for.
Look, I will play a standard game of 40k with you at 5,500 points. Rule of 3 applies.
Oh boy.
And I will just take one model.
I'll have to take my entire collection. I'll still only get up to like 4,000 points, if that.
This seems fair.
I should just constrict. I should just conscript my Age of Sigmar troll army. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
Yes, they are Ogrins.
don't talk to me about Ogrins. I still have PTSD from Calvert.
What did he do?
He threw an Ogren bodyguard into his command squad. It's a pain. It's such a pain in the ass to get through. And then once you do eventually get through it, he brings the fucking thing back. I was playing Necrons. I felt very much like that was too on the nose. Like, that's my trick. Oh, geez. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Let us know how you would fix the Warhound Titan. Mitchell wants to drop points and give it more guns, which, I mean, is totally fair. I'm totally on board with that. Also, make it go boom more. More booms. More
Make
booms.
everything go boom.
Yeah, I mean, look, we should just give it so that every infantry model that dies goes boom.
You know that can happen if Games Workshop is not too pussy to release Penal Legion models.
No, just as a universal rule that applies to everyone with the infantry keyword. If you die, you roll d6 on a 6+, you explode for like d6 model wounds to everything within 3 inches. Everything explodes. We're house ruling that, Mitchell.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do that next game.
We're doing a game.
I'll even bring infantry just to make it happen.
Everything explodes. This is gonna be so dumb.
It's gonna be like setting up a dominoes, like a dominoes display.
Yep. Will dying from another model exploding cause you to explode?
Yes.
Excellent.
More explosions is better.
It'll be just like your tanks a few months ago, Mitchell.
That was a lot of fun.
Against the flayed ones. Good fun. Fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, or don't. Whatever. It's a free country for now. Sort of. Not really. It's kind of a bit shit. But look, at least most of the country is red at the moment, which means a very different thing. Bye.